Hi and welcome. Today I want to show you how to make this block stitch granny square. You might be familiar with the block stitch. It's a very popular stitch, but it's often worked in rows. And today I want to show you how we can do it in the round and create these squares. The purple square is made up of classic granny square rounds, so we have clusters or groups of 3 double crochets for every other round, and we have these single crochets in between. I have a little bonus for you today because this is the tutorial I wanted to make, but with a few adjustments to the stitches, you can actually also make this version over here. So instead of double crochets, we're doing half double crochets, and instead of having 3 stitches in each little block, we're going to have 2 stitches. I will show you this tutorial first because when you understand this pattern, it's very easy to adapt it and you make this one instead. When it comes to yarn and colors, you can go with whatever yarn you like. My samples and the sample we will be doing today are made in mercerized cotton because that is my favorite yarn. But you can choose whatever you like. I think you need at least 2 different colors to be able to see this effect with the single crochets for every other round. So here I have 2 that are just made in 2 different colors. I think that's really pretty and you can easily do that. I also have 2 other versions over here that are made in different colors. Again, one is with this half double crochets and the other one is with the double crochets. These 2 are a little bit different because I have made these in with a hook size that's a little bit bigger than what this yarn normally suggests. If you do that, because this pattern creates a pretty stiff square, if you want it to be a little more fluffy and a little more soft in the way it feels, you can try to experiment with a bigger hook size to get this. But what I really love to do with this square is to use multicolors because I think that is just the prettiest for this design, but that might just be me. So for the double crochet one, I had chosen some different purple, bluish colors, and my single crochets are all made in the same purple shade and also my final round. For this other one, I have gone with my favorite combination where I take 2 shades of the same color and use them on top of each other. So we have this light pale yellow in the center with the half double crochets, and then the single crochet round is made in also a yellow color but in a more bold color, and that goes for all the other colors. And I have added a white border because I think that really highlights the colors. Let's jump into the tutorial. We're going to start working in a ring, so I'm going to put a slip knot on my hook. And then I am going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going into the first chain that I made. I'm going to pull the yarn through both loops on my hook. This gives me a nice little ring to work in. You can do a magic ring if you prefer that. We're going to start with double crochets. I'm going to chain 3. That will count as my first double crochet. I'm going to put in 2 double crochets next to it. 1 and 2. So this is my first cluster of 3 double crochets. I'm going to chain 2 for a corner. I'm going back into the ring and I'm going to add another 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to chain 2 for a corner. I'm going to do that 2 more times to finish this round. When you have your 4 groups of 3 double crochets and you have chain 2 for 4 corners, we're ready to finish this round by going into the 3rd chain that we made, and in there we're going to slip stitch. I have fastened off and I'm bringing in a second color for round number 2. I'm going to place a slip knot on my hook and we're going to start in the corner with a single crochet. You can do that any way you like. I'm just going to do it this way. After the single crochet, so like that, we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we go into the same corner and put in a single crochet. So corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3 to get over to the next corner, and in there I'm going to repeat 1 single crochet, chain 2, 1 single crochet, and then over the cluster from the previous round, chain 3. This is my last chain 3, and I'm going over to my first single crochet that I did in the beginning, and I'm going to slip stitch to finish this round. Let's do round 3 in this blue color. We're going to start with a double crochet, so I have a slip stitch on my hook, and I'm going in the corner. I like to do a standing stitch when I'm starting with a double crochet. So I'm putting the yarn over my hook, pressing down on it, going into the corner, grab the yarn, come up, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2, and yarn over, go through 2. This gives me my first double crochet. You can also do a chain 3 if you prefer that. Next to that chain 3 or standing stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets. So we're back to doing what we did on round number 1, but I'm just going to show you the corners. 3 double crochets, chain 2, back into the same chain space, the corner, another 3 double crochets, and then we're going to work over the chain from the previous round, so the pink one, and we're just going to put in 3 double crochets. I'm not going to chain anything to go from the corner and out here, so I think that creates too much space. I think the stitches are better fitted if we just work straight in there. And then no chains, but moving into the next corner, and in there just going to repeat what we just did. I added a few more double crochets to round number 3. I'm just going to show you how to start round number 4, because when we're done with that, you would know exactly how to keep going. So again, start in a corner with a single crochet. Whoops. Chain 2 in the corner, add another single crochet in that same corner, and then chain 3 to get past the first cluster of 3 double crochets, and then in between clusters, so where you have your single crochet from round number 2, you're going to go in between and you're going to put in a single crochet, chain 3, go in between the 2 clusters and put in a single crochet. In that, you're just going to repeat for as long as you like. I do suggest that you end your square on a single crochet round, for at least for this square. I have done it on this one, and I have the same number of stitches in the corners, so single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Then I have skipped the top of the first double crochet, and I put in a single crochet in the second top and in the third top, and then I added a single crochet between the 2 blocks. Skipped the first double crochet, put in the top of the second, in the top of the third, in between, skip the top, and so on. I think this gives a really nice finish that are somewhat similar to what we have done in between the rounds. You can of course also just do a regular round of single crochets or leave with your double crochets as the border. Let's do the second version of this pattern. We're going to do half double crochets instead of double crochets. So we're going to start with a magic ring instead of doing chains. So I like to put my yarn in my hand, wrap it around a couple fingers, go across, come in from underneath the first strand of yarn and grabbing the second, and come up. And then I'm going to chain 1. So this gives me my magic ring. In that magic ring, we're going to work first. We're going to chain 2. That will count as our first half double crochet. And we're going to yarn over, go into the ring, come up, 3 loops on the hook, and yarn over and go through all 3. So that is our second half double crochet. We're going to chain 2, go back into the ring and put in 2 half double crochets. And we're going to do that until we have a total of 4 groups with 2 half double crochets in each and a chain 2 for each corner. I'm done with my last corner. I'm going to find the second chain that we did in the beginning, and I'm going to slip stitch to close this round. I have fastened off and I have tightened my ring, and for round number 2 we're starting again as with the other one in a corner with a single crochet. So it's a little small, but it will work. And you might think that your corners are a little pointy, but that will fix itself when you crochet. 1 single crochet, chain 2, 1 single crochet. And because we only have 2 stitches underneath, we're only going to chain 2, where for the double crochet we chain 3. We're just going to chain 2 into the corner over here, 1 single crochet, chain 2, 1 single crochet. And again, in the beginning it will look like a lot of stitches and it will be a little pointy, but when you add more rounds to it, it will all work out. I have fastened off. I'm going to attach a new yarn color in the corner. And now we're going to do a round of half double crochets. I'm going to attach my yarn with the slip stitch. And I'm going to chain 2 and make that count as my first half double crochet. I'm yarning over and I'm adding a half a double crochet next to it. I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, yarning over, going back in, putting in 2 half double crochets in that same corner space. And then in the chain space between the 2 single crochets from the last round, I'm going to put in 2 half double crochets. So as you can see, this is the complete same way as we did with the double crochet. The only difference is we only have groups of 2 stitches, and the chains that we're doing in the corners are the same, and we're not chaining anything between our groups of half double crochets on the sides, only chaining 2 in the corners. And for the single crochet, same thing for the corner, but on the side, instead of chaining 3 between the groups, we are chaining 2. And you can just repeat the round for as many times as you like. For this one, I have on the last round done a round of half double crochets, so not single crochets, but half double crochets. And I have repeated the pattern from the other round, so 2 in around each chain space, no chains in between. But in the corners, I only have a chain 1 between the 2 groups of 2 half double crochets instead of a chain 2. You can do a chain 2 if you want it to be a little more pointy. I just like these rounded edges for this one. That was all for today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I will get back to you. Have a great day.